Hilly Hindi, Hillyhindi.
Hannah Hindi, Hannahhindi.
Perfect. So first and foremost, in a nutshell, how would you two describe your channel to somebody who might not be familiar with YouTube?
The Hillywood Show is a parody channel, but we parody movies, TV shows, celebrities of your favorite fandoms. So we've done, like for movies, Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter, for TV shows, Supernatural, Doctor Who, Sherlock, The Umbrella Academy, and we've been around for quite some time. And the thing that people don't know about us when you see our channel, it looks huge and well produced, and it's just us.
It's just us.
We're not sponsored. We don't have a network behind us, and we do it all on our own.
You know, you have been creating these videos for a long time now, and when you look back at some of your earliest content versus now, what has been the biggest change, but also what has stayed consistent for you guys?
The biggest change?
I think the biggest change is the camera quality.
The camera quality, that's exactly what I was thinking. That has changed. Probably the fact that as time has gone on, we've been more detailed.
Way more detailed.
To where we're like, oh no, it's we're just a little too detailed. But consistency-wise, we've never broken from our tradition of actually really truly loving a fandom.
Yeah.
We won't do a fandom unless we know everything about it or we ourselves truly love it. That has stayed consistent.
You'll see the biggest jump though in costume quality, in wig quality, in set design. Budget-wise has been a big change for us over the years. You know, we would take it out of our own pocket, and people would donate like props and things to the little Hillywood Show because we were just local girls doing, we didn't go to Hollywood, so we created Hillywood. And beyond that, now we are 100% fan funded on patreon.com/Hillywood. So everything is provided by fans
Worldwide.
The goal of the Hillywood Show is obviously to be picked up by a network, and we're still looking for that opportunity. 2020 kind of set us back, but we're very hopeful that maybe a producer will collaborate with us and that we can get in there and start pitching, because we just feel like the Hillywood Show has grown so much and we're ready for the next big step.
Now, those little details people might not think of, but they make the biggest difference. And I was looking through some of your comment sections, and your fans notice it too. They're like, wow, how did you recreate this set to look exactly like this? And, how much time and forethought goes into that? I'm sure quite a bit.
Too much time.
Yeah, too much.
Too much time.
Over the years, it's taken longer and longer. And I feel like it's because we just keep going bigger and bigger. We don't mean to. It's more just the fact of, hey, fans would truly love to see it.
Yeah.
And so we kind of put ourselves in that position. But it's taught us a lot, and it's actually made us appreciate set designers and set dressers and all that detail that we literally don't really notice until we sit down and go, okay, what is in that corner? What's on that wall? And you're like, oh no.
I mean, the problem is once we started doing it, everyone started catching on. So that became a big part of our legacy, that, these two girls can just almost recreate this big budget show for little to no budget. And it's very difficult though. It's not easy. It's not easy for us. We would love for a bigger budget someday.
I think like Umbrella Academy parody took about how many weeks for
too many,
like 3 weeks just to do objects within the sets, like searching and finding. And so that's just set dressing.
But we're very humble. We still see flaws in our work and we still want to grow from that. We don't think like we've done it all, because I feel like we can do so much more. So that's always been our ambition, is just like, let's just do it, and not forcing ourselves like go bigger or better. It has to be better than the other one. It's just the concept, the imagination keeps growing, and we're very excited to see what God will open up for us in the future. And
I love that.
Yeah, hopefully it was hard for us. The pandemic was definitely hard, because my happiness comes from being on set with my sister, doing what I love, acting, and she does what she loves with directing. So last year we had to take a little change in gear.
I think everyone was a little confused last year.
And thankfully though, our fans have been with us. They're still on Patreon. They're still supporting us.
Mm-hmm.
And we've done the podcast. We've done a Hillywood podcast now. I'm doing Twitch on the side. So things have been provided, but I'm just itching to get back into my element.
Yeah.
That actually was one of my questions, which was how has the pandemic impacted your content? And so if you want to elaborate even more on what you guys have had to put to the side, what you've done instead, go for it.
Yeah. So the pandemic hit us hard in 2020 because at the start of that year, we were very excited because we had very exciting meetings planned with some networks. And we were extremely hopeful. We had that passion, that fire, and then the lockdown.
On your mark, get set.
And then the lockdown happened, and that took us back a step. I'm not going to say we were clicking our heels throughout 2020. We definitely weren't. We had our moments of, disappointment and discouragement, but we really just latched onto our faith and just trusted that no matter what's going to happen, if we're meant to continue the Hillywood show, God will continue to provide. And that's what happened. Our fans continued to support us throughout all of 2020. Even though we couldn't do a big production, we did nothing production wise last year. It was impossible because we're only, 2-girl team. Like we can't just say, hey, we're going to lock down. Everyone's going to quarantine and bubble. Big production. Like, we're not a production house.
Right.
So for us, it's much harder. That's when we branched out to podcasts and Twitch gaming and extra content on the side just to keep our fans happy and smiling. And they seem very happy. But this year, we're really trying to either get back into Zoom meetings with some important people or just do a little production on our own once again. It'll be much more difficult, but we're ready for it.
We're determined.
Yes.
When you're saying, you're a 2-person team and there's all these actors with you guys, obviously someone's running the cameras. Walk me through a bit how that process works when you decide to create a video.
Hilly comes up with the entire concept, the idea. If a song is involved, obviously Umbrella Academy parody took a different turn. That one we wanted to be a little more creative with. So she gives the idea, and then from there presents everything to me from the camera angles to what sets we're having. It's the entire cinematography of it.
Yeah.
And then from there I said, okay, now I need to organize. And it's literally everything from, scheduling is a big one. Scheduling, getting the crew together for those 10 days of filming, which by the way, our crew shows up, has no clue what's going on. Yeah. Seriously, it's been this way for years. We don't have time for crew meetings. No, yeah. It's just show up and they go, where do you want the camera? And we go, it's here. It pushes in. I'll tell you when. Go slow. Okay, go. And we just shoot and we just do it. And they've trusted us because most of our crew has been there for years. They trust us and they know we know what we want. And then basically me and you kind of do costumes together, costuming.
We do our makeup, and we put makeup on others. We do location scouting.
We meet with set designers, tell them exactly what we want. We usually do the set dressing.
We supervise the special effects. So we'll work with people who are doing the special effects. They'll send us their dailies and their examples, and then we oversee that, and we can point out, oh well, that needs a little bit more blending, this isn't working. We work with composers who do it. We meet with set designers,
sound mixers.
So
and then
in saying that we then switch gears to post-production, and that's when I take over with all the editing and the digital grading. We worked with the sound mixer before. That was very nice working with someone else. That was fun. We usually do all the sound mixing with all the levels, but it was very nice working with an engineer
and have a proper engineer.
So even though we do everything, we are at a point where we're ready for for a Hillywood team.
Yay, team.
Hopefully funded by like a network, because it is very trying. And we're trying to run like a CNN channel over here. It's just like 2 of us. And we're like, so yeah, we're ready for the next step.
But that's Hillywood in a nutshell. It's basically, it's just the 2 of us. Yes, we have crew show up. We can't do it without them, like the days of filming. They're there for like the 10 to 14 days.
But we have fun along the way.
We have a great time, good relationships with the people we work with, so much support.
Yes, so much support.
And it couldn't be done with without everyone.
Without them volunteering and being there for us. Our grandma does part of our costumes as well.
Yeah, our grandmother. Fun backstory is our grandmother worked for 40 years at Caesar's Palace as the wardrobe department, and she's worked with Frank Sinatra, the Beach Boys,
Diana Ross, Celine Dion, Cher.
I'm like, Grandma, you're like,
okay, she's got the connections too. That's crazy. Oh my gosh.
Still is a seamstress. She still helps us. So without our grandmother helping us, like with all of our amazing costumes, she's made some from scratch for us. So it's a family affair.
So is this your full-time job for both of you?
No, unfortunately not. We're part-time dance instructors, but that kind of shifted a little bit in the pandemic. So like I said, last year wasn't easy, but we hope one day
it could be full,
our full-time career, because we are so thankful for the fan donations. We are so thankful for the fans supporting us, but at some time in their life, I would like them not to have to give. I want them just to watch and to enjoy, because that's just my heart though. Like I want them to not feel like responsible for our continuing the journey.
Yeah.
I want them just to sit back and relax one day and be like, wow, like look at their journey. I supported that. So we have big dreams, and we're very hopeful. We're still very hopeful that someday
we have faith something will happen.
God will open it up for us.
Yeah.
We're knocking.
When it comes to, money wise, like fans donating, do you guys make money off of these videos? I know some YouTube content creators are like, this is our salary or whatever. How does that work for you guys?
Well, unfortunately with YouTube, usually you have to have a sponsor to be making more money per 1,000 views, for example.
Yes.
Well, we don't have any sponsors. We've never had sponsors. So for example, I think it's like something like you make $1 per 1,000 view, but YouTube takes 40% of that.
Yeah.
So there ain't nothing coming through YouTube for us.
There's
something,
that
but it's
we're
not
thankful for. There's something, but it's very small and not as much as like what it costs for our type of content. For other YouTubers who do like vlogs and easier videos, that would probably help them much more than it helps us. We're just a different breed. So that's we unfortunately can't just rely on YouTube. YouTube used to be more reliable with monetization, but once I think it switched over with Google, there was a little bit change in the percentage. And so that's when a lot of YouTubers branched out to GoFundMes and Patreon. To just try to help themselves. But like I said, our story is very different from the normal YouTuber.
We're not the typical
Our videos
YouTuber.
are not like, and
oh, no, not at all.
We should be probably posting much more constantly, maybe every other week, but our fans wait around 6 to 8 months for one big production, and they treat us like a little television show, and I'm like, thank you, bless you, because I know that's not YouTube standards.
When it comes to your relationship with these studios, what is that like? Because you are using their ideas or content or music. How does that work?
It is one of the most exciting parts. We've been in touch with so many people involved with the shows. For example, when we first did Lady Gaga, she posted and tweeted about it. We've worked with the cast of CW's Supernatural. That was a huge blessing to where they even came back for a sequel. And they were on our sets just, participating in something that we can bring to the fans that promotes their show. We got a call from Steve Blackman, who's the showrunner of the Umbrella Academy at Netflix. He called us and he emailed us and he's like, I just watched like the preview, like what the heck, this is the most amazing thing. And it's just been such a humbling experience. Experience. And, we would love to just work with people out one day to be like, hey, let's team up. Let's do this thing. Because like I said, sky's the limit for the Hillywood show. But working with people like that has been one of the biggest blessings that has been provided for us. I don't know how it happened. Like, I don't know why they respond or what. I think it's because we don't make fun. Like, we don't make show and their life's work
a joke.
Yeah, we celebrate it by adding a tongue-in-cheek parody where we do kind of poke a little fun at the obvious inside jokes, but that's why we are such hardcore fans with anything we do.
Right.
So it would be very hard for us to parody something that we're not fans of. I don't think you would get that same feel and that vibe from it, because we think we'd be very confused. But we parody what we're fans of, and we want other people to be like, oh my God, that is such a good parody. Maybe I'll check out the actual show. That's what the Hillywood show is. We just love those fandoms. So we're like, let's celebrate that.
And you can tell when you're watching the videos too, it's almost like everybody's in on the joke. You're not, like you said, you're not making fun of someone or a show or whatever. It's, you're part of it. And is it encouraging to hear back from the people that are involved in these shows or the music, and to have them say, hey, what you guys are doing is really good, and I even want to be involved in it? Like, what is that like?
Crazy.
Overwhelming.
Exciting.
It's just to where you sit back and you get like chills in a way, because you're like, I was not, like, in no way do we ever create these going, I hope they'll see it. Like, that's never our goal. It's for the fans, because we're like, hey, we're fans of Lord of the Rings, so we did this production. We're fans of Stranger Things, so we did this. And we're like, hope you guys loved it as much as we were geeking out, being in costume and having this set. And it's just so much fun, and we want people to enjoy that and to bring more to that fandom. So when you hear someone who's involved in it give you a compliment,
it makes our hard work like totally
it just makes it so worth it. Yeah, because nothing has ever been easy on the Hillywood show. It's always, you run into difficult problems here and there with filming. It's never been easy. It's so humbling. And so encouraging.
Very encouraging. It gives us hope for the future.
Yes.
When it comes to, Las Vegas specifically, what is the YouTube community like here?
I don't know if I know many. I think there was a creator, I don't remember his screen name, but I think there was a creator back in the day that I knew he lived here, but we never spoke because his channel was like so much bigger than ours, so I was too embarrassed to like ever ask. That was when we first started out. But I don't know too many in Las Vegas, and like I said, most of everybody who meets us like, oh, you're from LA because your productions, you're in LA, you're working in LA, come on, you're Hollywood. And it's like, no, I'm a Vegas girl, and we love working here because there are so many talented people. Like the set designers that we work with are Vegas like locals as well, and they are beyond amazing. Same with even like our camera operator, our crew, like everyone that we've chosen to be a part of the Hillywood show when we're on set works in Vegas.
So, Vegas locals.
Yeah, we're a very talented bunch, and LA should get more of us.
So when it's interesting to hear like the YouTube community isn't, I wouldn't say strong, but maybe there's not a lot of networking in there. Do you think there's there should be more opportunities for that?
I think so. I think there should be more of a freeway between YouTubers. I know sometimes in the past, so we've tried to connect with some other YouTubers, and it's almost harder to connect with a YouTuber than an actor because we've worked with actors before, and I don't like. It's kind of hard to explain like the concepts and things to each other. So there's just a little bit less communication, I think, between the two parties. But once you make a friend with a YouTuber, they're like forever your friend. And because they get it, they can relate. So we've met some great people along the journey, but we are kind of hard to get a hold of.
Yeah, it is YouTubers.
True. I don't know why.
What are some of the benefits of creating content in Las Vegas versus, say, Los Angeles or San Francisco or, what have you?
I would have to say, honestly, budget.
I was just about to say that. I'm like, cheaper.
Bing, 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 bing. Yeah. Budget-wise, everybody's dying to get into those studios in LA, so they're just filled up so back to back because that's what the industry is there. So they raise the prices because it's on high demand. And here in Vegas, yes, sometimes you get backed up and we have to wait a month to get in there or something. But really, it's just reasonable prices, very decent people, and oh my God, let's just talk about how much more space there is with parking, moving vehicles,
driving to the location.
Yeah, driving and parking.
Traffic.
We have parking here.
You don't have to wake up 2 hours ahead of time to get to the Vegas set here.
Yeah, so I guess those are like some of our
the biggest
things is, oh, we're done filming. Okay, let's all go back to our, residential places that we sleep. And it doesn't take you an hour to 2 hours to get home. It's like, you know, however far away, you know, because Vegas from one end to the other is what, 45 minutes?
It might be more of maybe like an incentive to do it. Like, you know, I don't have to wake up 2 hours early. Like it's just a much easier process, it sounds
Yes.
like.
Yeah, it's more reasonable.
Yeah, definitely. Especially if you're balancing other work too, which you guys are, and I'm sure the people you work with are as well.
Yeah, it's true.
From what I heard, that's very interesting is that a lot of LA productions are coming over here to film because of such strict protocols with COVID right now that are going over there. So a lot of them have switched gears and are actually using some of our Vegas stages. It's kind of sad. Vegas has lost a lot of sound stages because we kind of had like a dead season, like, oh, not too many people are coming to Vegas anymore. They're going to Georgia, they're going to Canada, they're going to, you know, Los Angeles. And we kind of were like, oh, we lost that. So a lot of the film studios we worked at no longer, like the sound stages don't exist. So we've done some scrambling, but now all of a sudden people have their eyes back on Vegas and they're like, hey, you guys, or like, come over here. But, you know, there's not as many sound stages, so we got to make room for everybody. So I thought that was very interesting. Made me excited again because I love
that is very interesting, and I, you know, maybe it'll help more people in the city too get work and that sort of thing, because it's
Absolutely.
been a hard year.
Yes,
Absolutely.
I hope so. I'm excited about it. Come back to Vegas.
What's next for you guys? I know we talked a bit about the, you know, working with the studio. I'd love to hear more about that. And then also, is there an idea or a show or a song that you guys would love to parody, but you just haven't done it yet?
Ooh,
Oh.
two-part question. Okay, we'll start with the latter part. I
Yes.
think one of the productions we would love to do is something based on Star Wars. We grew up with that fandom as well, and we just absolutely adore it. But it is such a big undertaking, and budget-wise, we're not quite sure if we could meet the standards because we don't ever want to parody something and everyone expects it to be a certain way, and we couldn't reach their expectations. We want to feel confident, and we want to feel strong about it, and go big or go home. So that one's always been shelved. I'm like, not yet.
One day.
Yeah, one day. With regards to our future, we are very hopeful that we will be able to have that opportunity to meet with a network or producers and start getting in there and start pitching what we do best. We have a huge ambition, a huge passion for filmmaking and acting. And we really feel like we can create even more magic and something even more spectacular than what we bring to YouTube.
That would be amazing.
It's like you see the magic on YouTube, just imagine it on a bigger platform. So yeah, we're very hopeful, and we're praying for that opportunity, and hopefully, you know, someday somebody will look at us and be like, "Yep, let's start working on that. Let's see what we can like."
We're gonna keep knocking this year and keep trying. We're not gonna give up.
Never give up.
Yeah, and we're talking through, you know, also on top of that, another production idea, hopefully for this year. You know, but whatever comes our way, we're gonna take it by the reins and hold on.
Yes.
Is there anything else that you want to add that I didn't ask about that you think is important to talk about?
Well, I think the biggest thing that we always like to mention is the fact that we couldn't do any of this without our fans. We would have had to close our doors a long time ago without their love and support. And I just want them to know that we wouldn't be where we're at without their viewership, without their shares and likes and comments. All that matters to YouTubers more than you know. Your love, that little comment that says this video makes me smile, or you just even leave a little emoji with hearts. Those things is what fuels our creativity to help push us to never give up, because it is hard when you're you know, we're basically our own little brand, and it's hard to kind of get that motivation. So without them, we wouldn't be existing right now with Hillywood.
And on top of that, those who have taken that further step to donate or give whatever they can on our Patreon is extremely encouraging and just so uplifting, because we did pray in 2020 that you know, give us a sign if we're meant to keep going. You know, we were very close to shutting the doors, and we kept praying, and people kept coming through, and we tell them, you are our angels. You are the answer.
They're a miracle.
So thank you to
Yes,
those
so we
who are
always
doing
like
that.
to tell our fans, thank you.